afternoon, everybody. I'm Elton Brewington, and I have the delightful pleasure today to introduce one of our found and wonderful authors, Mr. Joseph Sanchez. And he's written a book called The Art of Schmoozing. And we're delighted to have him with us today. And we will talk with him about his book and cover the fine arts of schmoozing. Well, Joe, in light of your book and the writings, you know, someone who may not be aware of what schmoozing really is and how they should, because you use it every day.
Right.
You know, and it's so important in your day-to-day activities. So tell us, if you will, what are the fine arts of schmoozing?
Well, in a nutshell, if you don't mind, I'm going to read from the first page, which I pretty much cover that, and I'm going to only highlight it. Basically, unless you live in a remote part of the world, you have to come in contact with people and exchange ideas to accomplish a particular task you have in mind. Either it's at your church, an organization, do volunteer work, or any other venue. However, we all know the cliche, it's not what you know, it's who you know. The techniques that I cover in the book will give you the ability to mingle smoothly and creating relationships which are genuine, which will last a long time. And this happens either on a professional basis or social basis. And that is the essence of what Mingle is all about in a nutshell.
So, Joe, I mean, you make great points. This is outstanding. And what do we want our audience to be familiar with? I mean, in terms of the transformation to become a world-class schmoozer.
Well, you know, I find the best things in life is things that come natural to you.
Okay.
And I would say, because by the way, when I was younger, I was shy.
Okay.
And it didn't help that I went to an all-boy high school.
Okay.
So I kind of got my development started to from an older age.
Okay.
What does that mean? You know, late teenager. So I have found not only in schmoozing, but in other things, you have to get to a point where you are comfortable.
Okay.
You can't be shy when you approach somebody or reticent, afraid you're saying the wrong thing and what have you.
Comfort.
So that's where it starts, absolutely. But like everything in life, it starts between the ears.
Sure.
If you approach something apprehensive, you are not going to get the results.
Sure.
And I can give you an example to me to this day. I'm in sales, also. And it doesn't happen anymore, really, because I'm experienced and what have you. But if I pick up the phone to call someone and I'm not comfortable, I don't feel I've sold myself on it, I am not going to be as effective as if I pick up the phone and I know that what I'm saying is good and that person is going to accept what I'm saying.
Sure.
And the results are completely different. The word here is attitude. But attitude goes into everything.
Yeah.
And I would say again, the stuff that I write about schmoozing is not rocket science. At the end of the day, it's common sense, which is not so common.
Okay.
However, we, in the gist of living our life, we kind of fall away and get in habits.
Okay.
And therefore, even though you know the principles, that's why a book like mine or any other book on the subject is always good to stay up to date, read, because you remind yourself, oh yeah, you know, this is the way it works and I'm not doing it. So that's what I think that I try to bring to the table.
This is true. I mean, when in a world-class setting, getting to know people, getting familiar with them, and creating the kind of relationship that can transform time, and you know, it's kind of like sitting down with you like you might have had an experience with ball players. Or what's your favorite sport?
Well, now I'm biased. I played baseball through college and what have you.
Okay.
And you know what? I often harpen that a lot of the experience that I gained from playing, on on a high level,
Uh-huh.
and I was fortunate where I had some talent and I did well.
Okay.
I allude back to that again.
Okay. Okay.
And realize the confidence I have.
Uh-huh.
I don't care how good you are. If you get 3 hits out of 10 times at bat, you're doing well. So
Okay.
you're gonna strike out a lot
Okay.
more.
Right. Okay.
And every so often, let's say when I'm going through a tough spell, I harpen back and go, you know what? They're not going to defeat me.
Okay.
I'm going to keep swinging the bat.
Sure.
And
sure.
usually, have good things that happen.
Sitting down with a couple of your greatest athletes, ball players who we're going to nail this schmoozing thing down so that people will get familiar with how comfortable it can be.
Yeah. It's an attitude. I mean,
yeah.
again, as I said before, everything in life starts and ends between your ears.
Sure.
If
sure,
you have no
sure.
confidence, you could be the most talented person going,
Okay.
and you're going to have limited success.
Yeah.
So the idea is to get into the right frame of mind where you're able to basically work at your potential.
Yeah.
Again, so it's not rocket science.
No. So I mean, we're working this through with people in the reading of the book, and I want to help them too. And I come to the understanding that when you're sitting to discuss how do I get to know people, and imagine you're sitting down with an author or a scientist or someone who you really want to get to know.
Okay.
And they help you transform
Okay.
your relationship with that particular area of subject matter.
Well, what the most obvious thing is you want, let's say you're a person I never met before, which I never have.
Right.
And I wanted, to get to know you. I would do all the best I could to find out about you.
Sure.
So that way I approach you with something that you care about.
Right.
It's not about me, it's about you now.
That's right.
So, and what I'm trying to do is, it's like an icebreaker.
Right.
I want you to relax. I want you to be comfortable with me. Because if I went up to you, started talking to you about me, who knows how long you put up with that?
Right. Yeah.
You say, excuse me, I have to go somewhere.
Right.
So that's the first step. It's smoothing out, making the person comfortable with you, where then they would give and take information. And also on that point, as you talk to people, you have to show genuine interest.
Sure.
When you talk to them, you look straight at them, you acknowledge, and you reveal definitely, some personal things about you. So a person is always more comfortable like that.
Yeah.
Other than if I'm always asking you about your life.
Yeah.
Your kids and this and that, and I don't talk about myself.
Yeah.
That is not good.
Yeah.
So again, it's multifaceted. Again, you connect to the person on their, what they're about, the life is about, and then in the process, let's say an author, let's say it happens to be something that we both wrote about, I would talk about his work.
Right.
And if the guy knew of my book or what have you, he might ask me questions about my book.
Sure.
And and I'd maybe say I had it was tough for me and this and that, kind of stuff that I would not
Personal.
ordinarily reveal. But when you show your vulnerability to people, it works.
Yeah.
You kind of drop your curtain. So I mean that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah. Well, amazing. You've written this book, and you want to help people become familiar with how comfortable it can be for you to get to know people,
Right.
and to get to know how easy perhaps it is to really, become familiar and create a relationship with them, over time.
And by the way, I'll add, this is not only professional but social as well.
Sure.
One of the things that becomes tougher as you get older, and you're single, is to find people that would be, let's say, good candidates.
Sure.
To be quick about it, and using schmoozing, getting involved, like let's say, with a crowd or what have you, is kind of a way to ease up. And if somebody in that crowd you like, they probably wouldn't be as intimidated, or as protective.
Yeah.
If you come in, through the back door, schmoozing, make them feel good, and really show a genuine interest, in that person. It's not just about you. And that's the
So we reached the point in this talk or discussion that it has transferred to the point where people, anybody, everybody, you have the capacity to now get familiar, relax with them, and discuss, what the process of schmoozing really is, and not be nervous about it at
Right.
all. And not be caught with the process at all, or that kind of thing. And so,
No, absolutely. Again, what I'm trying to do is give you the basics, and really what I'm trying to say between the lines, what have you, it's not that difficult.
right.
As I said before, it's between your ears.
Right.
If you start intimidated, you're not going to get good results. You have to learn how to relax, and I go into stuff there as well. What you can do to make yourself relax and be an effective schmoozer, either on a professional basis, obviously will help you. Make good connections, maybe possibly promotions or another opportunity, and socially, you might be involved in a PTA or your church organization.
Sure.
And again, so you learn how to do that. I'll give you an idea. A while ago, I was involved in Toastmasters, which is a very good organization. They have, when I left them, about 6,500 clubs throughout the world. And the purpose of it is communications through, I believe the thing was leadership through communications, basically public speaking. And from the time I started, and this was before, well, I always knew about schmoozing, but anyway, from the time I started, I wanted to be club president. Club president. I wanted to be club president. So what I did, I would schmooze with the senior people in the club. At the time, maybe about 30. And from the beginning, that's what I had in mind. I knew it wasn't going to happen right away. But I worked on it. And then after a year, I was elected educational vice president. And then from that, I was elected president. I got it, and then they asked me to be area governor, where I had a bunch of clubs under me. And then after that, I believe the next step was divisional. And I had to turn it down because it was just too much work. Plus, I'm working full time. But the point I'm trying to make here, and by the way, I knew another guy in the club that started about the time that I left, and the highest position, and it's basically almost by state, was called division governor. And he became division governor. Doing the same thing I did. Schmoozing, doing this and the other. So what I'm trying to say, here's the point, that if you schmooze effectively, you can get good results. It's there, it's doable.
Sure. Now, take a point example. Now, I've been approached, and years ago, I was approached with a round of golf with the governor.
Nice.
Yeah. Now, that's wonderful. My golf was good, but I don't know if it was that good.
You didn't want to look bad.
So I practiced.
I
practiced to the point where it was almost flawless. I mean, but that in itself does not mean it's completely flawless. So I mean, and so I saw myself, and we got relaxed, we got comfortable, and we got as though, but you can never take away, the capacity for, exceptional.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, again, not to talk about myself, I guess at the end of the day I am. I was a pretty good baseball player through college or what have you, and that didn't happen by accident. I would play ball for about 3-4 years in those teenage years. Basically, I would play 7 games a week. And then the days we weren't playing, a bunch of us would always go down to the field and work ourselves out. So after all these years, I became pretty proficient. Again, the point I'm trying to make here, I put the work in. Nobody forced me to, and the results were good. So it's the same thing. Another thing I want to add is using your vision. It's been proven, and I do it every day since I'm a meditator for many years. You visualize events in your life that you want to occur.
Okay.
As vivid as you can, as much color as you can. And what happens, it's been proven that it does have an effect on you, on your subconscious system, and it does help you draw the things you want. May not be 100%, but a great deal of it.
Okay.
And again, I've been meditating since graduate school.
Okay.
Since I was working full time, I was going to school in the evenings, and my family was just starting. So I was under a lot of pressure. And my wife worked too, by the way.
Okay.
So I found meditating to be a very effective tool to help me relax, help me focus, and I graduated.
Okay. So the meditation that you included helped you bring into focus a perspective about your capacity, your ability.
And relax you.
Very
Because I was
good.
under a lot of pressure.
Okay.
And you know, I'm kind of a hyper guy. So,
Okay.
So that helped me quite a bit. To this day, I meditate 10 minutes in the morning when I wake up and 10 to 15 minutes before I go to bed at night.
Okay.
And I've been doing that, you know, now I have a brief schedule when I'm here
Okay.
because I didn't bring some of my stuff with me, but I'm still meditating.
Okay.
And that's another thing that I recommend wholeheartedly.
Okay.
Diet, exercise, and meditation.
Okay.
You know, all three, if you continue with it every day, you will see results.
So now the average person who's just engaging for the first time, you know, you want them to start developing skills of meditation to help them get a balance, or to get them a great understanding of what meditation can do. What are the first things that you think they should?
Well, I tell you, meditating is easy, but yet it's difficult.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of information online.
Okay.
I will say that. Now, I've done meditation in groups, you know, different groups. I've done it alone, which is what I'm doing these days. And so I find for me, it's much more effective if I do it individually.
Okay.
Now, the one thing, because I talk about it and some people actually try it.
Okay.
And they're frustrated because they're not able, in other words, their mind wanders. They call that monkey mind.
Okay.
And I tell them that's part of the process.
Okay.
What you have to do is you have to get back to basics more or less.
Okay.
And what does that mean? Well, a simple thing, it's just concentrating on your breathing, in and out. If you concentrate on your breathing, you know, it will calm you down.
Okay.
That's not to say that your mind won't wander again, but that's part of the process.
Okay.
And oftentimes, apparently, people get frustrated and they say that they're not good at it, but you are. You are. You just got to stick with it.
Yeah.
But again, it's not rocket science. What you do, you relax. When you feel your whole your body and your mind relax, and then you simply, ideally, it's just like white space.
Okay.
Nothing. To think of nothing.
Okay.
But invariably, oh God, did I pick up my stuff at the cleaners today? That stuff comes up.
That's good.
And that's the time, or an argument you might have had with somebody or whatever. And what you have to do is you have to concentrate back again on your breathing. In other words, bring yourself back to ground zero. And believe me, I've been doing it for many moons.
Okay.
And it still happens to me. But, you know, I know it and I don't get frustrated.
Okay.
You know, I know it's just say to myself, Joe, relax, breathe a little deeper, slow it down, and it works.
Okay.
And believe me, that, as I said, to me, as far as I'm concerned, meditation, exercise, which includes stretching, and then obviously, you know, diet.
Okay.
I think those are the most important things in our life, how we feel. What we do today, you're going to feel 5 years from now.
Okay.
You know, if you have all these troubles, well, you weren't good 5 years ago, approximately.
Right.
You know, because the body catches up to you.
Sure, over time.
So, it's not rocket science.
Right.
But the key is most people don't have the discipline.
Sure.
That's the problem.
So,
you know, and look, it's easy to go home at night and you've had a rough day, you know, maybe you have a piece of simile, a cake, whatever.
Yeah,
It's easy to do that. And what that happens, that habit continues.
Sure.
And it's not good.
Right. So the point, and I don't want to, we'll kind of put a top on things, but the meditation and getting people the habitual comfort over time. People
Yes.
get familiar, they get relaxed,
Absolutely.
and they get good at it.
Absolutely. No doubt about it. I mean, I'm proof. Believe me. You know, I started doing it when I was in grad school. Wrong. Undergraduate school.
Okay.
And I remember up in New Hampshire, I remember the one year we had a house off campus that we would rent. I remember on my bed, you know, when I started the process. And I wasn't, you know, I wasn't straight through till the present time. I had some gaps in there, but I would say 90% of the time I do it every day.
Okay.
And I guess I do it twice a day.
Okay, very good. So I guess the comfort with this is that as long as you continue and sustain your focus on what you're attempting to do every day, you know, you'll get good at it, and it's just an automatic process.
I tell you what I'd add too. You know, you read about all these things, but you kind of half believe it until you experience. But one of the things is that it lets you focus a lot more effectively. Also, you're not rattled by things that rattled you. I'm not saying you never will, but not as often.
Sure.
And even then, the level of discomfort is not as bad as it once was. So the bottom line, it calms you down. That's the bottom line. And you know, when you're excited, you don't make good decisions.
That's
you have to be calm.
That's true.
I mean, over the years, you learn. You know, if you're mad, if you're whipped up, you had a fight. That's not the time to decide. You know, if you can, and you always can, you just put it aside for now until your head is clear. I know times, there haven't been many, where I've had an event I didn't like, and I was ready to whip out an email, and I write it, and I go, no, Joe, no, just wait a day or two. And invariably, I delete it after. All right, wow, did I say that? So again, it's a function of not thinking clearly. And again, meditation definitely helps you out. And again, I'm proof.
Well, we are so excited for your book today. You know, Joe, you've given us Fine Arts of Schmoozing.
There you go.
And it sounds like meditation too.
Well, even though in the book, by the way, I don't mention meditation.
Is that right?
So what I've just given you bonus.
Okay, very good.
Actually, my other book called Soar Like an Eagle, on that one I go into meditating.
Very good.
And you know, let me add this. I listen to a lot of seminars, you know, on all different things, and I'm amazed how many times in these programs that the author talks about meditation. And I talk about a simple thing as investing. You know, they wholeheartedly, again, here's the bottom line. I've been repeating myself. It's about relaxing and being able to think clearly. That's the bottom line.
Well, I'm excited. I mean, I think our audience would be excited once they realize your suggestions that anybody can achieve the fine arts of soar like an eagle, you know, and also the fine arts of schmoozing, you know, with meditation.
Absolutely. It all works.
So, Joe, we need to thank you today for your,
my pleasure.
your offer and your presentation, and we're expecting more and more people to bring their focus into your review of the book and to purchase more books. And so with that, I'm going to take a target to make sure that we get what we need to get from the book, The Fine Art of Schmoozing. Yeah, the audience, I'm hopeful, and we do expect that the review and consideration will be what we expect. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your presentation.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you. And so let's go for it. I invite the audience, the members of the audience, and readers of the book to get what we've suggested after their time and review consideration.